Hi, I'm Rowan.
I'm Zach.
And you're watching episode 3.17 of In the Zone. Today we're going to be discussing the Twilight Zone episode, One More Pallbearer. We're going to spoil it. So we open the episode and there are these guys underground. They're setting up like lights and stuff, and they're like, they expository dialogue pretty badly. We sort of get the whole premise of the episode for them. It's like, yeah, those sound effects are great. Sounds just like a bomb. But it's just for gags, eh? It's like really, I mean, it's really a bit much with the expository dialogue. And then we see like the TV footage that he has prepared where it's like,
city, bomb.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yes. So this is supposed to be, this guy's like a fake bomb shelter. His name's Paul Radin. The expository dialogues to the guy who's setting up the stuff, who really does, like, why are you telling him? Who cares? He tells him that there's going to be 3 guests. Wow, the expository dialogue isn't bad rather than good. Oh, talk about a great Serling appearance. He comes out of the elevator. Oh, he's so cool.
Is it good? I sort of laughed because I thought it was really, really obvious. It's like we pan into the elevator, I'm like, yup, Serling's in there.
So we fade to black. We come up, and then the guests arrive in the elevator, much like Serling, these 3 people. And then this loudspeaker is like, telling them where to go. They get to this room with chairs, and then the loudspeaker's like, sit down. Then the lights come on. You see that it's just Paul Radin, like with this little speaker thing.
And then the door shuts behind them.
Whoa.
Spooky.
And they recognize him. They're like, oh, Paul Radin. There's like a reverend, there's an army dude, and there's a school marm, a teacher. So the army dude, they like get into their backstory. It's like, Radin refused a direct order to like lead an assault on a hill. And then he was like, Colonel was like,
they lost an entire company of men.
Yeah, and then he was like dishonorably discharged, and Colonel was like, well, I would have had you shot.
Which is probably not the best thing to say when you're sitting in someone's like a 300-foot underground lair and the door is shut.
Why would you ever say to someone that you wanted to kill them?
I don't know. Yeah, it's a little bit. So like Serling's like weird wordiness and like well-placed words work for Radin, but are really weird with the other characters.
Definitely.
And it's actually great for like the Radin character.
Oh yeah,
it's like
sure. Because he's like
it makes him such an interesting character, but then the other people are just.
It's like
yeah, you're a little weird.
Yeah, definitely. And then they talk about the teacher in high school who flunked him and humiliated him in front of the class. And then, I mean, the whole episode is just people talking, so I'm just going to say the things that we learned from their talking.
And maybe, like, some good lines.
So they got some invitations. They weren't invitations, like, someone came to their house and told them to come, and they said it was a matter of life and death. And then they don't know why they're there, they want to know. And he's like, well, I want to settle 3 old scores. So then we go further into the teacher's backstory. So she explains that he was caught cheating, and then he blamed someone else. And so then he's like, you gave me no compassion, no sympathy. And she's like, well, I gave lots of people compassion and sympathy, but not you, because you weren't worthy. So, I don't know, I feel like she implies that he was like mean and troublemaking. It seems like there was more going on than just the cheating thing that I would have maybe liked to know about, or maybe it's better to keep, to not tell us. I don't know.
Yes.
There's this reverend guy who he says he destroyed Radin's reputation. That's what Radin says. Because Reverend's like, yep, I had to tell everyone that you drove a girl to suicide.
And that's when we start to realize, yep, scumbag.
What's cool about that, now there I like that they didn't tell us more. They didn't tell us, like, anything about that story. Which is kind of cool, because we don't need it, and you leave it to our imagination. So the Colonel tries to leave, but then he can't.
Oh, and then there's this weird, it goes on for too long, where Colonel, tries to, push out the door, and, he's like, yeah, no, it's not going to work.
Radin's like, 48 hours. 48 hours ago, I learned that the world will be ended, and there will be bombs and stuff. He's like, do you want to survive? And then he secretly touches a button. It's not that secret. Yeah. It's supposed to be secret, but you can sort of just see his hand touch a button. And then this, over the loudspeaker, it's like, emergency broadcast. And he's like, oh, there's gonna be a bomb. Go to your bomb shelter. And then we get the lamest fade to black ever, because it just goes, you would think there would be a music sting or, shots of the people's faces, or no, but then there's just standing there. Fade to black.
I almost thought, did he just like turn the lights off to screw with them a little
exactly. more? Nope. We come up and the Reverend's like, well, I want to go to my wife.
And then Raiden just wants them to say that they only care about themselves and they want to apologize. He wants them to get on their knees and say, Paul, I want to live. And then they're like, yeah, we're out.
Here's the weird thing. So, this part made no sense. You need proofreading. So the Reverend guy, he's going to leave, but then Raiden accuses the Reverend. He's like, oh, you don't care about your wife, you just want to survive. But it's like, doesn't make any sense at all. Because if he cared about surviving, he wouldn't leave. He would stay in the bomb shelter.
No, it's like, the Reverend's like, I'm going to go leave. I want to see my wife. And then Raiden's like, no, you don't want to see your wife. You want to stay right here. That's my...
I don't think that's what he was saying. I thought he was saying... He was like, all you care about is saving your own hide.
Well, that's what he was like. But he thought that, like,
He thought that would convince them into staying. He's like, oh, right, I am selfish. Maybe I will stay in this bomb shelter.
He wanted them to drop the pretenses, and, like, he said, stop pretending that you're so noble. You want to stay right
That's sort of a mean strategy.
Yeah, and you know what? It didn't work, Paul.
There's, like, a weird noise, like, it's not like a bomb exact. It's like sounds like a, I don't know what it is. But these noises come over, and then... He's like, guys, stay here. You're going to stay alive. Don't you get it? It's a bomb shelter. I want you to ask for forgiveness. But then they all want to leave. The teacher's like, I would rather die alone or with a stray cat than you.
Yeah.
See ya.
That was. The teacher was poorly scripted, I would say.
Pranks have gone wrong.
I don't know if it's the actress.
Yeah, the problem is, it's mostly the writing, and the problem with her is that she can't sell it. Like, it doesn't feel natural that she would be saying this stuff, this monologue. And then he's like, please, please, but... They leave. He opens the door, and he's like, okay, if you're a dummy, you can go.
And
but then they all still leave. And then he tries to close the elevator door, but he's like, alright, you'll regret it. And they're like, yep, I'm fine. It's pretty harsh. And then, wow, there's a great shot of his face as he's like, whoa, this did not go well, because everyone hates me. And I'm the worst. Before the elevator goes up, the teacher's like, well, if you're alone, you can get some mirrors, and then just live with yourself. Your life's a fantasy. Fantasies about who just done wrong to you. Fantasies about... it was a good monologue. I mean...
But it was just, like, not a good monologue.
It wasn't good in the context of the episode. It was well
written, but not for this character in this episode.
Yeah. If the character had been someone who it would have made sense for them to say it, it would have been really good. And it still was sort of good.
Or can we get the, like, because he said something that, like, the Reverend was always so wordy. So the Reverend's line made a little sense, but it was like, what if it was like, oh, Miss Langsford, my English teacher, always the poet. Like, then that monologue would have been perfect.
Maybe. They go up. Wow, you know what? I would like to... What happened to them? I want the camera to follow them.
Yeah,
be outside and be like, what the heck?
Yeah.
What the heck? Go home and they're like, they know there's gonna be a bomb, and then like in 20 minutes they're like, what the heck just happened?
And then they're gonna call the cops and be like,
That would have been so interesting and funny.
And then like the police came down, and then he shut the door on them, and then they got a battering ram.
What if this episode like really unexpectedly was like 90 minutes, like just without warning?
Like, what if
like this whole story?
Yeah, what if we got 15 minutes of battering ram?
So the monologue ends, and then he lets them go, and then he's like, "It's not a fantasy." And then the announcements go on again. So he's like, "That's enough! That's enough!" He takes like a chair, bangs the PA, and when the PA break, and then when we get the footage of the bomb going off that we saw earlier, he GBs the screen. Last break.
That was a good one.
It was a good one.
Because I think we like see
we
it
saw
from
it from
within.
Angle. So then outside, we don't see him going outside. They couldn't have padded that. But, not that there was padding, but I mean, you could have made some room for him walking up. But all of a sudden he's outside, but then it's like a bomb. It's like time enough at last. It's all bombed out. He's like,
and then
what?
His glasses break.
So he sees the fountain that we saw in the first shot of the episode.
Sort of sadly trickling a little.
Yeah, and he's like, what? But then we see that it's not bombed out and that we are in the modern day. It's the modern-ish unbombed day. And the fountain is functioning and there are people there. Like it's switched. And then...
Solid acting.
It's a little much. It's a little theatrical on this guy's part. So a cop shows up, and then he's like, "Hey, what's up? I'll get you home. Nothing to see here, folks." And then we see him back in his hallucination in the bombed out place.
No people.
Pranks gone wrong. Bomb prank, bomb apology prank, gone wrong. Vomit alert.
We should post that to YouTube and just do like
just do the
straight
whole
up
episode.
piracy of the episode. That's a theme that we've seen a lot before. Someone goes a little bit crazy and thinks they're alone, but is not actually alone. Or someone is in isolation that's not really isolation and is displeased.
Two other examples.
Where is everybody? Can not return?
Very interesting. Yeah.
And then also, bomb, of course, nuclear war,
all the
shelter.
Yeah, this sort of like a reverse shelter.
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to get out.
But he wants them to be in.
What do you feel about the ending?
Questionable.
It feels
sort of overused, and it feels dry, and it feels a little boring.
It feels unsatisfying. The ending really does not resolve it in a way that's interesting. It's like, he went mad.
How do you end this plot?
Yeah.
Like, you can have Twilight Zone, like, oh my god, it actually was bombed. But, like, no. And, like a bomb actually came and, like, he didn't meet preparations.
That would be more interesting, but that still wouldn't. That would just be weird.
I think there's no way to make this interesting. Because it is interesting, but, like, not interesting.
Man, these episodes are, like, they're so clearly Rod writing them in, like, an hour. Like, churning them out like meat in a factory of meat. It's like,
Although I gotta say,
so many episodes here in the third season are so mediocre and soulless.
And honestly, they might be feeling the budget a little. Not sure how much they were feeling it here, but like...
Yeah, maybe that forced them to do an episode that was pretty much all in one location.
Yeah, because, I don't know, you notice that there are, like, episodes, like the one where, like, he changed his face, like, 3 times?
Oh, the 4 of us are dying.
Yes, the 4 of us are dying. Is intriguing because of, like, not necessarily the best episode, but visually appealing and, like, sets are changing.
For sure.
I gave Third from the Sun a bad review, but Third from the Sun is visually compelling.
Yeah. Lots of locations.
Honestly, now I'm a little nostalgic for Third from the Sun after third from the start of the Twilight Zone.
Oh!
Hot's a burn!
It's an interesting premise, but it doesn't do that much with it.
Mm-hmm.
It feels very short. It feels like not very much happens.
What I like is, alright, here, what I don't like is Langsford acting. Not good.
The teacher?
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. She was like... the problem with Rod Serling that's sort of funny is, like, everyone sounds exactly the same. Everyone sounds like the smartest person ever, like Rod Serling does. So, like, she comes up with these wise... It's like watching Modern Family. It's like these wisecracks they come up with. Yeah. It's like no one would... That's like something you do when you're writing something down that you've thought about for a long time.
I guess the thing that I did like is sort of how over time we discover how unsympathetic of a character Graydon is.
Well...
I don't know. Because first we got the Colonel and, like, he didn't lead a charge and was, like, dishonorably discharged from the military. And then, like, he cheated on a test and then, like... Or he flunked the class and was shamed, but then he, like, cheated on a test very badly and then tried to plant the papers on someone, and then he drove a girl to suicide. So, like, gradually we realized this man is a scumbag.
Yeah, that's an interesting element of the episode where he's, like, through his eyes, he's like, oh, these people are jerks. But then you see their side of the story. That's a really cool part of it. But
he's the jerk.
He's not likable, but I don't know if saying that he's unsympathetic would be right, because I did feel sorry for him. Like, this guy has, like, some serious issues. Like, he, like, is, like, super rich, but he is not happy because he, like, can't let go of the past. I don't know.
But at the start, it seems like these were, like, 3 people in his life who really wronged him at a time.
Yeah, but then you realize...
And then you realize, yeah, you know... he deserved it.
The premise is interesting, but yeah, because the ending is so weak. The ending is not interesting.
Yeah.
And that is disappointing. It's sort of, yeah, this is Meat Factory, folks.
But it's like, if I had watched this on television, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I would not have been disappointed, because I feel like a lot of these third season Meat Factory episodes are only really not good once you
See enough of them.
take a look, or once you like
Think about them
Yeah.
too hard.
And I think we might have thought about this one a little too hard.
I have an idea for a parody of One More Pallbearer, where this guy, it's like the same setup. This guy, he's like, oh, you have to be in my bomb shelter, but under one condition, you have to watch the Twilight Zone episode One More Pallbearer with me. They're like, I'll go. But what's your idea for the combined rating?
No, but then if with my idea for the combined rating, you can.
No, I'm gonna say what I'm thinking right now.
Alright. I think our combined rating is going to be 10.
11. We'll see.
Oh.
3, 2, 1, 5.5!
Rating split!
Rating split! Rating split! Rating split!
Good work.
Oh, I got it! That's One More Pallbearer. Next episode, we're gonna discuss a dead man's shoes. So you're gonna have to walk on over to that one. See you then.
Fun.